أجمعين. وبعد، يروي الإمام أبو داود في سننه بسند صحيح عن عائشة أم المؤمنين رضي الله عنها قالت. The hadith tonight collection of Imam Abu Dawood in his Sunan, and it's narrated to us by Aisha al-Mu'mineen with the authentic chain of narration. And the issue is still the topic is issues of marriage, probably this week, and I'll conclude it next week, and I'll move on to something different after that, inshallah ta'ala. There's a famous, you know this story. You may not know the hadith, but you know the story for sure. There's a famous story of the Prophet ﷺ's relationship with Aisha, and I like it. I think there's something in it for us to reflect upon. So this is what she said. قالت رضي الله عنها. سابقني يوما رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فسبقته فلبثنا حتى أرهقني اللحم فسبقني فقال لي هذه بتلك. So the Prophet ﷺ, she said, the Prophet ﷺ once raced me. Now where this exactly happened, we don't know. We think it's on one of his journeys. He would go ﷺ constantly on conquests or journeys, and he would take one of his wives with him. And once it was Aisha, so when they were on their own, he raced her. She wanted to race, so they raced. So she was young, she raced, she won. And then she said, فلبثنا, meaning time passed by, فأرهقني اللحم. I became a bit fatter than I was before. There was meat on me. And then this happened again, and he wanted to race, so we raced. This time he beat me. So he said, Ya Aisha, هذه, this win, بتلك, is to make up for the time that you beat me. عليه الصلاة والسلام. Now, the beauty or the nice part of the hadith is that the Prophet ﷺ, busy men rarely have time in their lives for aspects of joy and fun and playfulness with their close people, with the ones who are close to them in their lives. This is a known phenomenon. This phenomenon is not new. Men who are busy, men who are of high status, men who have a lot of responsibilities and are in leadership positions, blah blah blah. They don't have time to be playful with their loved ones. They don't. And this is just, and you can almost ask this question across the board to a lot of, and the Prophet ﷺ, being the Prophet ﷺ, so being the religious leader, being the head of Medina, being the political leader, being the head of the army, the military leader, being a leader to the Sahaba in every aspect of their lives, he was extremely busy and had a lot of status ﷺ amongst the people who were surrounding him. Yet he still had time to be playful with his wife. And the hadith, why I like it, because it talks about it stretches over a period of time. Like she says that it's not like she said at the beginning when I first got married he raced me, and then later on he refused to do it. Right, 20 years later, عودي يا حرمة عودي استحي. That's right. عودي عاد كبرنا وكبرتي عيب. You want to race you. We're both. I'm 60. You're عودي خلاص. No, she said فلبثنا. I mean, time went by. And we changed, and he still did it, alayhi salatu wasalam. To me, this just shows you that it wasn't just an issue of lust or an issue of early marriage. It was a mindset. It was how he was, alayhi salatu wasalam. He understood, he knew that in order for a marriage to work, that playfulness has to be there. That means there has to be a playful piece. Once I was told by a marriage therapist, not that I went to one, it's not that I went for one, but it was someone I was speaking to. Not that there's any shame in doing it, but I was speaking to one to help me with certain things that I was receiving in the community, and then I finally decided that I'm not doing this. I just sent to him. But the thing he told me is that one of the ways a marriage is healthy is that even when they disagree on things, they're just 1 minute away of just laughing at themselves. They're just a second away of just, falling into laughter of how stupid this whole fight is, and how, if they have that peace in their marriage, meaning even when they're disagreeing, they're still very close just to, to cracking a smile, laughing at the fact that they're doing this, then inshallah they have a healthy enough relationship to survive because they have some playfulness in it, and they still have that humor and that joy. And the Prophet ﷺ had this, and I want to narrate something for you. It's not a hadith, it's a hadith, but I'm not going to rate it fully and go into the details of it, but it's something that you hear a lot and a lot of people think is wrong. You ever heard that كم من نص دينك? Ever heard that piece? To complete the habit. So that's actually coming from a hadith. It's narrated في الطبراني في الأوسط. The Imam Tabarani has 3 معاجم, الكبير والأوسط والصغير. And he narrates it in the أوسط, and it has a sanad حسن. حسنه ضياء الرحمن الأعظمي. رحمه الله, one of the authenticators of hadith. He has a long explanation of why he thinks it's sanad حسن. And the wording is what he said عليه الصلاة والسلام. من تزوج فقد استكمل نصف دينه فليتق الله فيما بقي أو في النصف الباقي. Whoever got married, then you have half of your faith, half of your religion, then be mindful of Allah and the other half. And the reason, Allahu A'lam, in my opinion, is that because it forces you to show your character. Like the part of your faith, half of our faith is the character, how you are. And who knows you more than your spouse? No one does. It's what your spouse thinks of you. That really matters. I know that sounds very difficult for everyone to understand, but it is the reality. Because who knows you more than your spouse? Like I only get the version of you that's here for Isha. You're nice and you're smiley and you're good, your best behavior, you're dressed well, everything is good. I'm doing the same thing. Then we go home. Then we're done, we go home. And then, the real you comes out, right? So she knows the real you. That real you is where you have to show your real character. So if you do that, then that's half your faith. Half your faith, which is character and dealing with people and doing taqwa of someone that you have power over. And I'm not saying that you control your wife, but when you're in the house alone with your wife, you have a lot. You can abuse, you can be kind, you can do a lot of things. You can be done. So this shows half your character, which is half your deen. And I think that's important. That's the Prophet ﷺ, and Aisha talks about him. What does she say about him? You want to know the Prophet ﷺ well? You want to know him sallallahu alaihi wasallam well? See what Aisha said. And Aisha will tell you how he was, alayhi salatu wasalam. She'll tell you what type of person he was. And then you'll know, this is him, this is the real him. This is him after he walks in through the door, closes the door, and takes off his gallabiyah. And then that's him, alayhi salatu wasalam. And that's why I think this hadith is valuable. I hope that's beneficial too. يروي الإمام أبو داود في سننه بسند صحيح عن عائشة أم المؤمنين رضي الله عنها قالت سابقني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فسبقته فلبثنا حتى أرهقني اللحم فسبقني فقال لي يا عائشة هذه بتلك. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خير.